Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an AMX 13F3AM. It's the Tier 6 French SPG. It's located on the eastbourne of Sand River, and it's under the command of Elirox of B00YA. Now, this Arty has a 155mm howitzer capable of 630 output, penetrating 39mm of armour. Standard reload 30.58 seconds. But we can see Elirox has got 25.66. He's off to a quick start. This is the Arty based on the AMX 13-ton tank and is still in service, as far as I'm aware, around the world. They built 621 of them, and it was very effective as well. It's one of the lightest Artys in the game. In fact, I think it is the lightest. It actually only weighs 18.5 tons fully loaded, and that's including two of the members of the crew, the driver and the commander. Now, Elirox is aiming downrange at the moment, looking for enemy targets as they first appear. He's got a couple of light tanks, and, well, it's not actually a couple of light tanks. There is one light tank, but they found someone. It's a Skoda T25. Elirox is dialing in his aim, trying to find the right spot. Unfortunately, that wasn't the right spot. He aimed too far ahead of him. I think he anticipated the Skoda was actually going to pull forward, and he didn't. Okay, there are other tanks down there. In fact, they've just wiped out the A46 on the enemy team. In fact, actually, now we've got an AMX 1357. Yes, that little light tank, based on the same hull as this Arty, but he's got a 57mm gun, the pop-pop gun. Or the pew-pew gun, because as Jingles called it, Monsieur le Pew-Pew. Actually, I think he called it something else, Pepe le Pew-Pew, which is actually funny, because we actually have a skin for the 105 FH18B2, which actually has Pepe le Pew-Pew from the cartoon. Oh, that was a direct hit! Yes, he hit the KV2, or at least somebody who might have been near the KV2 at the time. Just having a quick look nearby, because there's a Super Hellcat up on top of the hill near the lake bed, just north of it. And that's a good spot to spot and get shots, but that Super Hellcat made a bit of a mistake. Oh, and he's definitely needs to buy a lottery ticket, because he just survived an 155mm round going straight over the top of his turret and exploding behind him. If that had struck, I think it would have been the end of his game, because of course Super Hellcats don't have much in the way of armor, and if a 155mm shell hits them, it normally means the end of their game, because it will go straight through the armor and wipe him out with a full roll. Okay, we've got a Cromwell, low hit points now, just slightly near it to anticipate its movement. He fires the round in. No joy. The shell goes off to one side. He's not having a whole lot of luck at the moment, unfortunately. Okay, our guys are doing well on the south end of the map, though. As you can see, they've moved all the way up the far end now, and he's having to actually move to get closer to them. And that will help him, because it will shorten the time between firing the shell and it hitting the target. Now, as you can see, the enemy has actually conquered the northeast part of the battlefield, and that means they could be coming down from the hill towards our cap area. But of course, Elirox can shoot from just about anywhere on the battlefield, because this thing has a long range. Designed in 1959, they built them between 1962 and 1997. So it's a recent Arty in many ways, and that's one of the reasons why it's still in action. Well, another enemy tank just bit the dust. In fact, that was the KV2 he hit earlier. And now we're aiming in on the A43, almost dialed in. He actually changes his mind, goes after the Skoda that he actually saw at the start of the game, but changes that and goes after the A43. Line it up. Oh, there you go. He fires it in, and he gets a direct hit with that one as well. So there's two tanks that he's hit with direct hits, and we don't know the amount of damage. So Despite it saying 0 damage at the moment, he actually does have quite a bit. Okay. Now the enemy tanks are starting to arrive near our cap, and look at this, an IS-2, and we're almost loaded, but we're not dialed in yet. Okay, Elirox is dialing in. He's waiting for sign of the enemy. There he is. Okay, line it up in advance of the target. Lead the target a little. Rounds out. Looks good. It is good. 313 from a splash. So the first recorded damage, but yep. Okay, still focusing in this direction. Unfortunately, we just lost the tank over here. Our AMX 12 ton just got wiped out by their A43. But their A43, well, actually, it was their P43 Biz just died to our IS-2. Okay. Which one's he going to go for? He's decided, instead of going for the ones up the north area, he's going to aim back at the IS-2 again. And he's dialing in on target. Okay, line it up. That's it. Let's wait for it. You're dialed in now. Just predict where he's going to be. Now fire. Oh, he missed the chance. But he fires ahead of target and splashes him again for 161. There's a moment, a sweet spot, when you're aiming at an enemy target where you can see that they're going to be stationary for a couple of seconds or a second and a bit. And then that's when you fire at the target because you know they're going to be still there when the shell arrives. Oh, well, that Skoda T25 we fired at earlier in the game, he's definitely out the game now because the Super Hellcat got him. In fact, we're now one tank up on the enemy. We just killed their IS-2, but unfortunately we just lost our Cromwell to their Sture Mill. The enemy's just lost their SMB CC56, and Elirox is going after the Sture Mill. And I think that did splash him. Now, we are capping at the moment. In fact, the enemy doesn't have anyone near their cap area. In fact, the Sture Mill's the only tank on their team. They do have two Arty, an M44 and an SU-8, but we don't know where they are. Oh, we do know now because the SU-8's just been found. Elirox is not aiming for him at the moment. I think he's not looking at the minimap. He really ought to. Yes, because that SU-8 has just taken out our Super Hellcat. And although he can't see who's in the cap area, oh, Elirox is going for the Sture Mill. Lining it up ahead of target. That's it. Just enough lead for the shell to get there. Looks good. It is good. 396. I think the Sture Mill, well, he's going after our M44, who's putting up a great defense, and he's headed into the cap area. But if he stays where he is, well, that's not going to help him. And we are now almost capped out, which means the enemy Arty is probably going to be trying to come to our cap area to try and get a reset. And he has got a reset. Unfortunately, our SMV CC56 just got hit. Our M44's gone around the house along the riverbed, and he's trying to come up and see where the Sture Mill is. So it's all going to be down to Elirox to finish the guy off the moment he knows where he is in the cap area. Our SMV CC56 is taking on their M44. Now go for it, Elirox. Do it. Rounds out. Kill shot. Nicely done. Takes out the Sture Mill. And now it's just a question of dealing with the M44. Oh, he got air with that one. And the SU-8 on the enemy team. Yes, he actually can get airborne. 60 kilometers an hour this thing goes. Oh, and they just took out the M44. The SMV CC56 got the kill. Elirox is actually headed towards the M44. We just saw the tracer. He's actually coming from directly north of us as it stands at the moment. And Elirox can shotgun that M44 if he can get close enough. Or not the M44, rather, the SU-8. He can find him and get close enough to shotgun him. The only problem with the SU-8 is it does have a very fast reload time. And so it is possible. Oh, and he's found him! And yes, the SU-8 saw him as well at the same time. Now, if he shotguns and misses, the SU-8's probably going to get another chance to shoot. And he's getting ready to shotgun us. But our SMV CC56 is in the cap area. And it looks like we're going to cap out. He's tempting this SU-8 to come forward. The SU-8 has to move. He can't stay where he is. And now he's going to get shotgunned at close range. Chase him. Chase him. That's it. That's a kill. Lovely. That's perfect. Well, one of the other team members actually put a woot in chat. They said woot. They were so pleased at that kill by Elirox, wiping out the enemy SU-8 and finishing off the game with 100% kill. And, well, he was very happy, that T-71. We can see that Elirox got a second-class tanker in that game, even though he did very well. He didn't get a huge amount of damage, and he wasn't pumping out as many shells as when he would have liked. But he did get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9. And his win rate was quite high, 4,040, which is Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, he got the highest damage on his team. In fact, he got the highest damage in the game, would you believe it? But not 20% of the enemy hit pool, so he missed out on the high caliber. He got 2,016 hit points of damage. Second highest scorer was the IS-2 on the enemy team, one of the tanks that he hit. He got 1,814, and the third highest damage went to the Super Hellcat on his own team with 1,664. You can see at the end of the game there was only 2 people alive, the SMB CC56 who was capping, and of course Elirox who did that last kill. When it came to kills, it was the Super Hellcat who did the best with 5 kills, 1/3 of the enemy team, and 4 kills went to the A43 on the enemy team, who also picked up a Lever Slayers medal, and the Sture Mill on the enemy team, one of the tanks that Elirox killed. He got 4 as well. And, well, we should say that the enemy SU-8 also got 3 kills, so that puts him in 3rd place when it comes to kills, because Elirox was actually behind him. He got 2 kills in the game, but he got the better of the SU-8 right at the end, and it was a lovely kill as well. Perfect shotgun, close range, no chance that the enemy's going to avoid it. He will penetrate straight through the side and wipe him out. Alongside Elirox was the P43 Biz, who also got a Lever Slayers medal, and of course the SMV CC56, who got a steel wall in that game, and the T-71DA was the guy who went woot at the end because he was really pleased that Elirox ended the game the way he did. When it came to base XP, it was the Super Hellcat who did the best with 866, the SMV CC56 got 784, and Elirox got 778 out of that one, just beating the Cromwell on his team. He fired 11 rounds, got 5 direct hits on the enemy, and 2 penetration shots as well. And I'm pretty sure the Sture Mill was one of the penetration shots. That tank destroyer doesn't have really any armor whatsoever to speak, so a shell is just going to go straight through. The other one had to be the SU-8. At close range, the shell would just go straight through the armor. It didn't matter if it even hit the tracks on the way through. It would take those with it. And yes, he was completely wiped out. He also managed to get 6 splashes on the enemy, 2,016 hit points of damage, of which 1,716 were at more than 300 meters. Obviously, the big difference was that close range shot on the SU-8, which he could not avoid. He damaged 5 of the enemy, killed 2 of them, and did 137 hit points of damage assistance, and he got 2 defense points when he reset the Sture Mill while he was in the cap. The M44 did get a direct hit which reset the cap, but sadly the M44 got wiped out by the Sture Mill just before Elirox's shell hit the Sture Mill and took him out of the game. He earned 39,968 credits for the battle on the premium account, 90,000 for completing a mission, 129,968 altogether. After ammunition resupply and consumables, he took away a profit of 97,428 credits profit. 1,167 XP times 2 for the first victory, 2,334 experience points altogether. So that on its own would be a pretty good game for any video. But we've got another one from Elirox, and actually this battle took place only a short time after this one. This battle is from September of last year, in fact the end of September, just before October started. But The next battle is from about 30 minutes after this one took place. So I presume Elirox either had a break or he had another battle in between. Let's have a look at it right now. The second replay is on the Outpost map, and we're on the western spawn. Game on. 2 marks of excellence on the barrel, working on his third. Won't take long for him to get it if he carries on playing at this rate. He's looking for a firing position at the moment. It's usually fairly good to actually start with your game somewhere where you can actually shoot down that big alleyway towards the enemy tanks that are coming up onto the village right in the centre of the castle area. Okay, he's found a firing position, he's ready to go. Okay, this is a good spot because he can see the enemy. He can see the enemy tracers coming from their Arty over near their cap area. Okay, first target, Skoda, T25, thin armour, rounds out, direct hit! Right on his frontal armour. I think it hit the tracks actually for 313, but he's missing a fair amount of his health. And now we've got another tank turned up. It's a KV-2, the Soviet heavy. He's almost loaded, and the KV-2's just fired and derped, and I think he did get tracked, so he burned his repair kit. Elirox lines the shot up, rounds out, direct hit again, 231. He's getting lovely accuracy here, and the KV-2 is taking damage, so he's getting damage assist here for tracking the guy. The enemies had to fall back because if they stay out, they are going to get attacked by Elirox again. He's loaded. Okay, he's looking around. Any chance of a target? No. Oh, somebody's turned up. And in fact, actually, the AMX 12-ton on their team managed to get into the castle unspotted. Okay, we've got an M4A3E2. Unfortunately, from this position, we can't really hit the AMX 12-ton. And we've got another danger as well. We've got a VK28105 who came up from the town area. And let's see if we can get a shot to him. Rounds out. Direct hit. Unfortunately, he was unspotted at the time, so we don't know how much damage that Elirox did. But seeing as that was a VK28105, is a good chance that he's actually penetrated the guy. And therefore he could end up with about 600 damage from that, or at least 630. That's the alpha. Okay, he's got a Jackson this time, and they are very thin armor. Rounds out, direct hit. It wasn't a penetrating shot, it hit the engine bay. 335. In fact, it looks like it hit the tracks near the engine bay, and that's why it didn't pen. Looking around for that VK. The VK is missing a huge chunk of hit points. So I think Elirox did penetrate him. At least we'll find out. He's loaded. Rounds out. Looks good. And it is a kill shot. It looked like it was actually a splash rather than a direct hit, but it didn't really matter either way because he got the guy. He performed his task. He finished the enemy off and stopped the threat from that direction. AMX 12-ton. Now we've seen Elirox play this particular Arty himself, and that guy is spotting for his team at the moment, and now he's out the game. That's definitely a penetrating shot, no doubt about it. He went straight through the armour of an AMX 12-ton. Thin armoured light tank. No trouble getting it through. This Arty will penetrate 39mm. In fact, the strongest armour on an AMX 12-ton is only 35mm, so no trouble penetrating him. Okay, we've got a Basotto here. Semavente A43 Basotto. And in fact, actually, we've got a couple of replays from Elirox featuring that very tank destroyer. Those will be done in the next few days. I've got a whole batch of replays to do. As you know, I get a massive number of replays. And I try my best to get as many of them done as I can. I know some days you see only one replay go up on the site. That's usually because I'm busy with other matters at the time, and therefore I can't get all the replays done. But certainly I've got a massive number of replays to do, and I would like to get them done. Because unlike many of the other channels on YouTube, we do like to give our watchers a chance to actually see their replays appear on YouTube, because there's nothing better than seeing one of your really good battles appear and then being able to say, well, that was one of mine. Oh, what a shot! Penetrating shot on the Crusader, went right up his rear, gave him an enema that he'll never forget. He's back in the garage. Okay, we've got two tanks here. Well, an Arty in the tank. It's an SU-100, and there's the M44. The M44 didn't last long. He got taken out fairly quickly by a VK-28-105. But now we're trying to get the SU-100. We don't have to shoot because one of our teammates, the VK, managed to get that kill shot. There's only one enemy left now. It's the KV-2. We can't see him, but he's down near the town. There he is. Okay, he's trying to run away. Elirox, well, it's not much of a shot between two houses, but the enemy's down, and that is the end of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second-class tanker for Elirox in the AMX 13 F3AM. He also managed to get a bronze medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 12. And he got a high caliber for dealing the most damage in that battle overall. His win rate was 4,679, which is super unicum and quite a bit more. So it was a great game for him. Let's have a look at team score. Well, in this one, yes, he definitely got enough to get the high caliber. 20% of the enemy hit pool, 2,181 hit points of damage. The next highest being the SU-100 on the enemy team, got 1,801. And the third highest being the VK-28-01-105 on the enemy, on his own team rather, who got 1,613. In fact, he got a number of kills right down at the other end of the map at the same time. When it came to kills, yeah, it's that VK-28-01-105. He got 4 kills in the game. 3 kills went to Elirox, 2 kills went to the Dickomax, the Type 64, the SU-100 on the enemy team, and their KB2. And when it came to base XP, it's the VK. Yes, he got 875. Elirox got 800. And the next highest after that was the Type 64 on his team with 666. At least, yes, it is a 666. Let's have a look at detail. He fired only 9 rounds in this game, so less shots, but more damage. 6 direct hits on the enemy, 2 penetrations. Well, I think we saw those penetrating shots. There was absolutely no doubt about the Crusader. That shell went right up his rear, and there was no stopping it. It was just going to carry on until he was finished off. The other one, well, that was the AMX 12-ton, 440 hit points from that shot, and it went right through him. It was the only shot he fired at the guy, and definitely knocked him out. Actually knocked out his fuel tank and his track at the same time. But it was a perfect shot, right on the front of him, went straight through the armor. That was the end of his game. He also got 6 splashes in the game, 2,181 hit points of damage, all of it at more than 300 meters, damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 3 of them, and did 134 hit points of track damage in that game, or damage assist. He earned 40,746 credits for the battle on a premium count, and after ammunition, resupply, and consumables, made a profit of 10,486 credits, 1,200 XP, 7,200 for mission completion, and 8,400 experience points altogether. So 2 great battles in the AMX 13 F3AM. In one of them, he didn't get a high caliber, but he came very, very close to getting it. As you can see, the amount of damage he did, 2,016. It can't have been far off 20% at the end of the game, but unfortunately he didn't get it. But in the subsequent one, he certainly did get that high caliber and a much better game overall. He did it with less shots and he got some very accurate shooting. I don't think that AMX 12-ton or the Crusader are going to forget that one for a while. I hope you enjoyed both of those replays. They were very interesting, weren't they? If you did enjoy them, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm. And thank you for watching.